Once upon a time, in a small town nestled in a valley surrounded by mountains, there lived a young boy named Jack. Jack was a curious and creative child who loved nothing more than telling stories. He would weave tales of adventure and mystery, and his friends would gather around him, captivated by his imagination. One day, Jack's parents announced that they were moving to a new city. Jack was devastated, for he loved his hometown and all the memories he had made there. He felt anxious about starting a new school, making new friends, and leaving behind everything he knew and loved. As Jack's family settled into their new home, he found it difficult to adjust. His classmates seemed unfriendly, and he missed his old friends terribly. His parents were busy with their work, and Jack often felt lonely and bored. He spent most of his time indoors, reading books and playing video games, but nothing seemed to lift his spirits. One day, Jack stumbled upon an old notebook in the attic of his new home. As he flipped through its pages, he realized that it was a diary written by his great-grandfather, who had passed away many years ago. The diary contained stories of his great-grandfather's travels to far-off lands, and the people and cultures he had encountered along the way. Inspired by his great-grandfather's tales, Jack began to write stories of his own. He would spend hours scribbling in his notebook, creating characters and worlds that he could escape to whenever he felt lonely or stressed. He would read his stories aloud to his parents, who were amazed by his talent and creativity. As Jack's confidence grew, he began to share his stories with his classmates. At first, they were skeptical, but soon they were drawn in by Jack's vivid imagination and storytelling skills. They would gather around him at lunchtime, eager to hear the next installment of his latest adventure. Slowly but surely, Jack began to make new friends. They would ask him to write stories about their own lives, and Jack would oblige, weaving their experiences into his tales. His stories brought joy and laughter to his classmates, and Jack felt a sense of purpose and belonging that he had never experienced before. Years later, when Jack looked back on his life, he realized that it was his love of storytelling that had helped him overcome his fears and find happiness. He continued to write, and his stories became more and more popular. He published a book of short stories, and it became a bestseller, inspiring children all over the world to find their own voices and tell their own stories.